Hi, I'm Madison Harvey, and I did my educational giant project on Søren Kierkegaard. Søren Kierkegaard was born into a religious family on May 5th, 1813 in Copenhagen, Europe. His father talked to him very often about religious topics, especially focusing on Jesus Christ and how he suffered for us. And he later went to the University of Copenhagen at the age of 17, where he studied theology, philosophy, and literature. His mother and father were actually very old when he was born. They were ages 45 and 56, and so they died very early. But his mother's death actually influenced Kierkegaard to start a journal, which he wrote for the next 20 years, which became very famous after he had after he had written it. He had a very interesting love life. He was engaged to a woman named Regine Olsen, but they were not engaged for very long because he decided that domestic life would hold him back from his true potential. So he broke off the engagement and went off into a life of solitude in which he wrote for 10 years all by himself. And in that time he wrote a lot of works, which a lot of them pertain to religion. He had a lot of religious works, but he had a lot of ideas when it came to religion and politics and philosophy, and he didn't want to limit himself to have many different ideas and to explore those different ideas. So he went by a lot of different pseudonyms. And so each one of the different pseudonyms had different ideas about the philosophy and religion and things that he didn't want to decide on as a young author. And so he had more freedom through that. He died of a spinal disease in 1855, which he was diagnosed with and died just within the next month. He introduced the idea of existentialism, which in the philosophy of existentialism, they believe that we have no predetermined nature that defines who we are. The choices that we make on this earth and the things that we do actually determine who we are and what we will become. We can apply this as teachers by knowing that our students, the choices that they make will help them to become the person that they are going to be. And we can inspire in our children, our students, these choices that they are going to be making. We can push them down a different path that they might have gone down. And by just knowing that we can be an inspirational influence on them, it helps us to become better teachers and helps us to understand the importance of the role that we play in their lives. As teachers, existentialism is also important because we understand that the choices that we make as teachers influence who we are and who we are becoming. Those little things that we do every day when we get frustrated or when we get angry, that's influencing who we are going to become. But if we learn a little bit of patience, then that also influences who we are. And as we act on that, we will progressively become better and better. An example of this is when teachers get really angry and frustrated with the class. It really doesn't do much for the environment, and it actually causes a more harsh, not a very good learning environment. But when teachers are patient and understanding of the students and understanding of the fact that they do have choices and that they will make choices that aren't always for the best, but that we can influence those choices, then we will become a better teacher who truly influences our students for the future and doesn't just stop with the now, but influences them forever. And Søren Kierkegaard was a very influential philosopher whose hand we can still see today in education. Thank you.